woke up this morning thinking about some occurrences that have happened recently, and God talks to me through circumstances and open doors and things like that. But just how secure are you? The two great paradoxes or opposing points is that you can lose your salvation or you can't lose it. And I want to give you a little story that will help you understand why I come to the conclusion I have. I believe I'm secure in God's love and significant in His plan. And I don't believe I can mess that up. Now, whether I am a frozen, chosen one or not, that's yet to be seen. But just recently, I spent several hours in a vehicle with a cousin of mine who's Pentecostal background. And he told me about his dear mother who was so troubled in her latter years if she was really saved. And he told her, said, well, Mama, you haven't done anything wrong. You're faithful to the church. And that is one extreme, I think. They used to say that Methodists die well. But so many of the Arminian persuasion struggle in the hour of death. They don't die well. They're afraid. So, like I said, that's one extreme. And I know that I don't believe in a sin in religion. If you sin every day in word, thought, and deed, in my opinion, which doesn't really count for much, you're not even saved. Because after all, guys, it's not your opinion or my opinion, it's what God says. And we have the parable of the sower went forth to sow. Some fell on stony soil, some fell on by the wayside, and some fell among thorns. And I believe that if you're truly born again, you will persevere. I just believe that. My grandpa Grant said they didn't get salvation, they just got a case of do better. And God's salvation is radical. It's just not turning over a new leaf. Well, I'll try Jesus and see how that works. But it is radical. See, before you were saved, you were the container of Satan. Whether you realized it or not, that's his greatest lie. You who were one time dead in trespasses and sins, Jesus said you are of your father the devil. And all. So we're a container of one spirit or the other, not both. Some people like to say you've got a third category here, and that's a bunch of bull. You're either in the kingdom or you're out of the kingdom. And as I taught in a lesson recently, you got to get your mind right. Your spirit is where Jesus resides, and He has not sinned. He never will sin. And He's not currently sinning. But the devil attacks us in our mind, just like it did my dear cousin's mother. And so you can have the option to believe that He loves me today, He loves me not. My cousin said, yeah, we believe that you can backslide and we practice it. But if you believe you're not, you cannot fall out of God's favor, you can practice that too. And what difference does it really make? I know something, well, you're giving people a false sense of security. No, really, we need to get this straight in our thinking. And I believe, like I said, in the security of the believer. I'm going to be in heaven. I remember when I was a chaplain at the mental health hospital, and I had a lot of characters there. But I remember one guy came up to me, one of our residents, and he said, chap, when you get to heaven, said, what are you going to tell God to let you in? And I started to go back, maybe down the Roman road or whatever. And he said, no, chap, just tell him, God, you promised me. We have exceeding great and precious promises. We are his workmanship. You're not working your way into heaven, okay? We are his workmanship. He that began the work in you will see it through to completion. Now, I don't know about guys that have supposedly walked with God for years and turned their back on God in the latter life. That ain't me, okay? Now, I need to take heed lest I fall. I understand that. But I'll leave that with God. These hypothetical straw men that people build, and some people actually know people that they think did that. I don't know if they were ever saved. I do believe that they that come to me I will in no wise cast out. All the Father has given me will come, and I believe that God is working in us to perform his good will. You are to be, as Jesus is in the world, so are we. Not sinning every day in word, thought, and deed. Jesus said, I don't do anything but what my Father tells me. It's sort of one of my pet peeves that so many on the other side, the Arminian side, have more of a man-centered religion. It's what you're going to do to keep yourself saved. And if you're always worried about keeping yourself saved, you don't have any time to love anybody else. So I would just say to you, friend, I would rather have this sense of security that God has given me rather than wondering if I've done enough. Wondering if I've done enough. And so I don't care which side you come down on. I so much prefer where I'm at right now. And again, I have been there. I'm here now. I may go to even another situation or understanding because I'm continually learning. If you're not continually growing, you better check who's living inside of you. And even if you have Jesus inside of you, God doesn't want you to stay in the nursery. I mean, I find so many carnal Christians. That's exactly what it is because they emphasize their flesh, their carnality and all. And that ain't God's plan. We are to be the huios, the adult children of God, maturity. We've grown. We're growing in the grace of God. So, this is my little hobby horse today, my soapbox. I just wanted to give you a conclusion that I have come to from the country cottage. So, friends, I love you. I want to see you in heaven. He that perseveres to the end, the same shall be saved. I want you to persevere, but I don't want you to sweat it. His yoke is easy. His burden is light. Get your mind right. You're walking with a king. His yoke, he's doing the heavy lifting. You're just along for the ride. And it is a joy to walk with him. I've tried him. I've tested him. I've proved him. I know it's so. I love him today. And I plan to be in heaven by his grace because he promised me. I'm trusting him. God bless you all. Walk with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords and be a blessing to those around you. Quit trying to help God out. He don't need your help. He's finished this from the foundation of the world. He's got a plan for you, and he's working out that plan. Walk with a dangling halter. Don't balk on the Holy Spirit.